quite a performance by a young man who we're going to hear from again. And here's the girls Class 2A is what we're doing next. And, boy, they'll be talking about Kyler True's performance, but we move on to Class 2A girls. And this ought to be a pretty good race as well. Class 2A, as far as historically concerned, Janet Haskin from Onega back in 1988 ran a 10:41.78. We start talking about records that were set in the late 80s. You start talking about records that are over 20 years old, and there's several of those kind of. It's almost amazing to consider how long, as quickly as time's developed in the distance. It's amazing that a record is that old.
You know, you talk to those athletes that have those records. I know they always say, "Well, hope somebody breaks it someday." They're pretty proud of that. The older those records get, and the older they get, they love that.
Mark Lentz is joining us from the Kansas State High School Activities Association. Mark, what's your official title now?
I'm an assistant executive director, and I oversee the sports of track and field, football, and wrestling.
Right.
But this event obviously kind of concludes a good year for us, and baseball, softball, and soccer are all going to end today. And Mother Nature is cooperating right now. We'd love to see her continue to do so.
Uh-oh, now you said weather. Uh-oh, you said it.
That's probably, of all the things that I get to worry about right now, that's it. So, but really, it's been pretty nice. After last weekend's regionals, trying to get those in. You had 24 regionals, and it rained, throughout the entire, weekend. I think the kids deserve this opportunity.
Mark Ewing touched on this, but the organization of this event, you guys make it look easy. It's like organized chaos out there, but it all comes together. How difficult is it to plan and get this together?
There is a lot of planning that takes place, but in reality, honestly, all the credit goes to everybody that's out there volunteering and working, and to the kids who are competing, because they're the ones that make it happen. So we do a lot of planning, we do a lot of paperwork, we do a lot of other different things of organizing, but in reality, without all them, it doesn't work. So they do a great job.
Let me set the field for this girls' Class 2A 3,200-meter run. In our field, Madeline Hess is the leader. She's from Wabaunsee. And also in the field, Bennington's Hallie Johnson, Trigo County's Helen Geifer, Ariba Avaler from Stanton County, Trigo Community's Sybil Giefer, Kiowa County's Nicole Ballard, Ellie Dahl from Republic County, Berean Academy's Aaron Doffam. Want to make sure we announce all the names for their mom and dads at home. Valley Heights, Samantha Vermetten, Madeline Montgomery from Linden, Ellenwood, Sarah Hammocky, McLeod, Sierra Funk, Berean Academy's Allison Topham, Kaylin Cook from Stanton County, Udall's Tavia Hart, Chase County's Kelsey Lauer. But the time to beat, at least as far as the seeds are concerned, Wabaunsee's Madeline Hess. She is a senior, and she and looks like 5 fellow seniors among the 16 who are in the field in the girls' 3,200 meters. But again, 3 freshmen in the field. Trigo Community's Sybil Giefer alongside Valley Heights' Samantha Vermetten and Stanton County's Kaylin Cook. But this is pretty sophomore heavy as well, with Trigo Community's Helen Giefer, Linden's Madeline Montgomery, Ellenwood, Sarah Hammocky, and Chase County's Kelsey Lauer. 11:48.11 is only 6 seconds better than Hallie Johnson from Bennington. So the first 2 races that we saw in Class 1A, those were one-sided races, and just based on seeds, I would think that this is going to be much closer.
Well, right now, there's your leader, and I believe that is Madeline Hess from Wabaunsee. I got her number right. And this is, so far, a little closer than our first 2 races we saw, as both were dominant performances.
Mark Lentz from the Kansas State High School Activities Association. I remember Mark giving a call one time, I'm not sure what it was, but when I was working TV news, to Gary Musselman, who's the executive director. So the beat was all over. I said, now what do you guys do? And he said, well, we start working for next year, right?
We do, that's right. We'll take a few days, but all in all, it's start getting ready for next year. And, me personally will be getting ready for football. So, we've tied it up, but I've got a great assistant. She has done a tremendous job of getting this thing ready to go. Honestly, she does a tremendous amount of work, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, and he'll be mad if I even say it, but Bill Faflick does a tremendous job on his end as well here in the city of Wichita, and obviously, his roles are going to change a little bit, but
he'll be the new executive director.
He will be the new executive director, and in a couple of years, and he'll be in the elect, learning that position this next year. And Bill does a tremendous job, and he's been involved in this meet for a long time, and in this position as one of the the co-meet managers. He, 17, 18 plus years. So, he has a lot of connections. So
you guys, that'll be just great. But we got a race now, closing up and trying to make a move up toward the front. And that's bib 129, Bennington's Hallie Johnson, who's right on the shoulder of the leader at the moment. And we have
New leader.
a new leader. 4 laps to go. We are 1,600 meters into the 3,200 meter race in girls class 2A, and we have a new leader with 4 laps to go. But I don't think Madeline Hess is going to go away far. She's staying right on the right shoulder. It's a pretty good little duel here.
Mark, how special is it to have all classes in one spot like this? I know people want to see sometime, maybe an all basketball thing like that or football, but to have 6A, 1A, boys and girls all together here.
Yeah, it is tremendous. It is very exciting. You look out here and, the crowds obviously aren't as big today as they will be tomorrow, but when you combine everything tomorrow, you get to see, 20,000 people, purely excited about track and field. And they're representing. They stand up and cheer for great performances. They cheer for all kids because all these kids have earned the right to be here, and it is so much fun.
Madeline Hess, the leader. Hallie Johnson is right there, and those two are going back and forth. And now Hallie Johnson is retaking the lead. Madeline Hess took it for temporarily, and they've kind of handed it back and forth. We do have on the lap counter, it's going to be 3 laps to go once they finish this lap. So plenty of time left to go. I'd be remiss, Mark Lentz, if I didn't ask you a football question.
Okay.
So classifications are always a big question, and they're coming and going. What's the latest with what's going to happen there?
Right now we're still waiting on the votes of the school. The deadline on that is, I believe, June the 14th. And once we see how they vote, we'll see what happens with the classifications. But I think it's a good plan. We'll see. If it doesn't, we'll continue to look at what we're doing to try to make it better.
And for those who don't know, the plan is to consolidate 4A back to 1.
Yeah, it is. It's basically to look at and go 6A would be in football would be 32, 5A would be 32 schools, 4A would be 32, and then 3A and 2A would both be 48, with the remainder of 11-man making up Class 1A, and then we have the 2 divisions of 8-man. So if that does pass, if it doesn't, obviously we'll do what we've done in the last couple of years.
2.5 laps to go here in the 3,200 meter run. You're watching girls class 2A. We've got 2 races in the books in the 3,200 meters, and including this one, you do the math. We got about 8 or 9 left. So a lot of 3,200 meter runs, and I know you've seen these before. The crowds kind of just settle in, and they got on their feet for the finish of a 3,200 meter run just a little bit ago. Watching Kyler True, how do you keep the fans involved, knowing what's going on?
Oh, you know what? I think that the video board is a tremendous asset that we have, and all the announcers. We have 2 of the the best announcers there are in this country, to be honest, and Don Steffen and Carol Swinson.
They do a great. Keep everybody involved.
Those guys study
the
information. They know the kids. They're going to mention every kid at sometime during this meet, and it is because it is about the kids and the fans. They understand that and they respect it.
2 laps to go. Hallie Johnson's lead now over Madeline Hess has extended to 25 meters. That happened pretty quickly. Lap 6 was an unbelievable lap for Hallie Johnson, but can't she keep it up?
Yeah, she made that move, and then they kind of went back and forth, and now she is really starting to stretch it out a little bit. But like you said, Mark, let's see if this pace holds up.
Also in the field, as we check bib numbers, Erin Topham looks like she's in competition for the bronze medal. She's out of Berean Academy. We saw her just a moment ago, and now this is the part where the fans probably need a little help as the leaders start to lap those who are trailing. And Hallie Johnson, that's also a bit of a race obstacle at times. You got to be able to work your way around because you're going to the outside and make sure your race a little bit longer than you want it to be. And, I've seen it where the competitors are so tired that are in the trailing that they've fallen or at least gotten in the way. That's always a dangerous as well.
You've been seeing that on the larger stage at the Olympics over the years. And they are kind of spread out in this race. They are all over the track.
Well, Mark, thanks for spending some time with us. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your efforts, and thank you so much. And best of luck as you. It's a long way to go here, so don't use all your energy in the first lap, right?
It is. Hey, thank you guys for doing this and having this thing televised. This is a great event, and this is one of the 2 largest track meets in the country, and we are honored to have you guys broadcasting it for us, because there's a lot of people around the country that are following what's going on, and we appreciate it very much.
You're welcome, and I'll pass along that to the crew. Who's really working hard for the next couple of days to get this in and enjoy. Yeah, thanks for all that. Mark Lentz from the Kansas State High School Activities Association. A lot of work left for him to do. We appreciated time with him in the booth. Meanwhile, this is the bell lap. And Hallie Johnson from Bennington, whose seed time is 11:54.80.
Picking up the pace, too, in this final lap.
And we'll look at about 250 meters to go. She has really found a gear, and she is really kicking it in. Her lead has gone from 10 to 20 meters, and now it's 200 meters. In fact, I'm having a hard time finding where second place is at the moment as I stand. There's second place behind her. It is about 200 meters. Look at Hallie Johnson. Crowd will appreciate her efforts with 100 meters to go, and she's gone into a sprint. There's her second place, and there's your leader, Hallie Johnson from Bennington, who ran 11:54.8. And down the straightaway, the home stretch, 20 meters to go, and your champion in girls Class 2A at 3,200 meters is Hallie Johnson from Bennington. What a race she ran.
That was a terrific race. She obviously had a plan. She